What's up, nerds? Today we will be talking about class traders because what's been going on over the past year now has been nothing short of enlightening when it comes to seeing what people will do for a paycheck. Really, you have systems of oppression that are meant to keep anyone who is not a wealthy white man oppressed, and you have people who are not within that demographic doing the dirty work for said demographic. Um, but right, and welcome back, Sydney.
Hello.
How are you both today?
Hello. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I can't complain. I mean, sorry, I got to do the white dad thing. I could, but it wouldn't do any good.
Oh my gosh.
The fact the fact that I actually say that quite often
I know, it's great.
hurts.
It's great.
It hurts me, so that
It's
was
great.
personal.
It's great. But yeah, no. Right after we did our episode last week was when Renee Good was murdered. Literally the day after we uploaded the audio episode was when she was murdered. And that was crazy. Because the conversation we had last week was fantastic, but it was like, we were talking about Venezuela, and then all of a sudden it's like they will do anything to distract from the Epstein files, even going so far as to taking out um, U.S. citizens.
Which is nothing new. Law enforcement takes out U.S. citizens on a regular basis.
Right, and I think that was my biggest issue with
Yeah.
with
We just
what happened and the response to
yeah.
it. It was like everyone had this, or a lot of liberals had this mentality of, oh my goodness, this is outrageous.
This has
This,
never happened before.
she's not the first person to be murdered by ICE. She's the first
This year
white,
even.
yeah, she's the first white woman maybe,
hmm
but she's not the first person to be murdered by ICE.
I mean, law enforcement kills about 1,100 people a year
hmm
in the U.S. That's just on average. It usually can go a lot higher than that.
Yeah.
This is not anything new. What's new is because we usually see Black Americans get murdered at 3 times the rate of any other race. The fact that it was a white woman this time is what's so shocking.
And I think a lot of people are having to realize that if white women are being murdered in broad daylight, ain't nobody safe because they are the most protected.
In terms of class.
And I think the best way to break down how classism works in this country is going back to the very beginning. Because the United States was founded on the idea, I mean, literally everything about the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, all of that, none of that applies to women or black people, or, well, anyone that's non-white.
Non-white, but also not landowning.
Right.
That's a big component of it too.
Yeah.
Was you had to be landowning as well.
hmm
So that did exclude, a portion of poor white people. So
Yeah.
how do you satiate those poor white people who have less rights than the landowners?
Exactly. And that is how it began. How do you get poor white people to side with you as a rich person who is lording over them in this new system of white supremacy and racism? You teach them that they are better than their common man or their fellow man. Easiest way to do it. We've seen it throughout history, except this was more sinister. You taught poor white people that because of the color of their skin, even though they're not reaping any other benefits because they are not land owning rich people, they are better than black people. You teach them to hate someone for the color of their skin, and then they are fully ingratiated into a system where they receive no benefits. They're actually being hurt within that system. But the benefit in their minds is a psychological thing. The benefit that they're receiving is being one step up on the totem pole, up from those darkies over there.
Yeah. And so we're
Literally
aware of the
no other
hierarchy
benefits
too.
from the system. It's literally
Hmm.
degrading you as a person, but you got one leg up, getting crumbs from the table of the rich white people. But hey, I'm doing better than those black folks over there.
Yeah, because at least you're not them. That's the
Hmm.
thing.
At
People
least
will
you are
take that
not
little bit of
them.
power.
Yep.
Yep.
And power, it always comes back to power. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. And it's why I have conversations with my leftist friends all the time about, like if you were to come into wealth, if I were to come into wealth in particular, I don't want it. I want my family to be comfortable, but I don't want extreme wealth. I'm going to gift that money or do something that where it's not with me. I don't want it because I've seen time and time again, and I know people will make the excuse of, well, those people were bad already. It doesn't really matter to me. I've seen people who consider themselves good people, and their mind, it's like power and money changes them in some form or fashion. It
Yeah.
makes them not care
Mhm.
about others any longer, or it makes them feel as if they are above certain issues. Like there's issues there still, but they feel as if, nah, I don't really have to worry about that anymore because I'm,
I
you
have
know,
money
I,
to throw at
I
it.
have money to throw at it. I'm at a certain status level. So it's not for me. It's like it's a reason that you will see a lot of celebrities not talk about certain, it's Taylor Swift, for example. She only talks about things when it benefits her. It's never for the greater good, like actually for the greater good. You never see wealthy
Yeah.
people speak
It was her
for these
whole
things.
thing about, supporting the LGBTQ community. It was because she had a big following
Yep.
in that community that it benefited her
Hmm.
to support them. But supporting black and brown people, marginalized communities, it doesn't support her whatsoever.
Yeah.
But going back to what you said about what wealth can do, we talked about this in our very first episode about dragon sickness.
Yep.
And there are studies, like actual studies, that look at the empathy centers of the brains of people who come into this money and can see that it degrades their empathy centers.
Hmm.
Now, you can get that back. There's a lot of plasticity in the brain. You can get those empathy centers back, but not while you're holding on to money.
Hmm. And yeah, it's the dragon sickness. As long as it's the monkey in the jar, like you put some food down into a jar and the monkey's going to reach its hand down in there and it's going to grab the food, can't get its hand out of the jar. As long as it's trying to get that food out, it can escape at any time as long as it lets go of that food,
Yeah.
but it
And
refuses
that's
to
why
let go
you
of the
don't,
food.
that's why, and I've always said this, you don't look to celebrities to lead you out of your troubles. That's not what they're there for. It's business, you know? And if you think of it in that way, I think that we can kind of let that part, they're not coming to save us. No one is but us. They will not deliver us. They have no incentive to. It's
Yeah.
business,
And
Yeah.
that
So it's
was
up
what
to
was.
us.
Keep going. I'm sorry. I
No,
completely.
you're good.
I was
No,
just
you're
saying,
good. I'm
like,
done.
that was something that Republicans managed to get right when they were blasting the whole liberal celebrity culture,
Hmm.
and why so many were drawn to it, because no, you can't trust these celebrities. They're only in it for themselves, and people can see that. you know Unfortunately, The right was yelling
they
louder than the
use
left
that
about it.
they use that to their advantage, and that's, say something nicer about Republicans. They did a really good job of utilizing um or
Certain truths and then twisting them.
yeah, burning Dems and liberals when it came to their worship of celebrities. I mean, the Republicans are still doing it, but they were able to be louder
Yeah.
in
Because it goes into this whole thing, like the liberal celebrities are just so vapid.
mhm.
Everything they say lands empty because at the end of the day, it's not going to cause any change.
Yeah.
You know? It's not like they're advocating for a marginalized group or advocating for policies that are going to help people.
Mhm.
They just want to maintain the status quo.
Yeah. And even like I would say that even in the instances of Republican celebrities, even though they may not be necessarily doing anything like boots on the ground,
Yeah.
their efforts are still doing something. Like their efforts in regards to racism and pushing white supremacy and whatnot. It's pushing that agenda forward. It's doing
Yeah.
something, right? But
Where
when
they're
it comes
putting their
to
money
yeah,
during
but when it
campaigns.
comes
Yeah,
to
that's
liberal celebrities and whatnot, more often than not, it's just talk. You don't ever see them boots on the ground. You don't ever see them putting the money where their mouth is, other unless it's donating to,
to get the money back to them.
yeah, political campaign.
And then they just
But
get that money back through tax loopholes.
yeah, but you don't ever see them doing the hard work, and that
Or putting their reputation on the line.
putting their reputation on the line. I mean, it's been over 2 years since the October 7th fallacy. It's been over 2 years since that happened. We know that this conflict has been ongoing for, almost 100 years at this point. But October 7th, it took almost 2 years to start seeing celebrities risking anything by standing up for the people of Palestine. Absolute silence.
And only when it become abundantly clear because
it was like
they were able to broadcast on social media.
It was just like it was just like with Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
At the very beginning, saying Black Lives Matter was so taboo. Oh my goodness. Why would you no? Kneel in the rotunda. It's just
with kente cloths.
With kente cloth. Fuck. God damn. Fucking kente cloth. I hate Nancy Pelosi for many reasons, but that pissed me off beyond anything. Good Lord.
Going back to what you were saying though about, celebrities and how it all lands so empty. That's why so many people ended up leaning toward the right, was because they're not advocating for something that is going to enfranchise them more than the black and brown people. So it goes back to, the rich, wealthy elite, those who are saying like, no, we should have like some kind of equality, even though, generations have been told of white people have been told that no, you are better than black and brown people.
Yeah.
So you have celebrities on the right who are saying you are better than black and brown people. That's who they're going to listen to.
Yeah. And it always comes back to doing the right thing, or doing what is right is always the most difficult thing to do. It's the the two paths that you can take. One is a rocky, difficult, treacherous path, but it does have at the end of the road is a better tomorrow, a better world, whatever. Grass is greener on the other side. But then you have the super simple, easy trail that leads to the status quo, that leads to what you already know, what you it doesn't get better, or it may get slightly worse, but the path is easier.
But you look over to the other side, and at least you're not going through the hell that the other people are going through.
Right. And it's that other path, the more difficult path, you may not see the end in sight. The end may not be in
it may
sight.
not be for you. It may be for
That
someone else.
That easy path, you can pretty much see where you're going to go.
Yeah.
That difficult path, I don't. It's going.
And you may not reap the benefit of it.
May not reap the benefit of it. There it is, right there. You may not reap the benefit of it. It's for your kids and your kids' kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's for other people's kids and their kids. That is where people's true colors come out.
Mm-hmm.
I have to think about other people. I have to think about other people's descendants.
Yeah.
I have to think about the future and what my actions here and now are going to do for those people down the road. Yeah. And every rampant individualism
and that's what
and selfishness.
That's why these appeals to go into law enforcement work so well. Because if you go into law enforcement, you get amazing benefits packages. You get a phenomenal retirement package, and you get really good health care as well, because you're getting incentivized to, hey, you don't need to worry about your common man, come help us. We'll give you everything that, these rich people have. We'll give you a little taste of what the rich have, what we have.
Yeah.
And you just got to keep them down.
And then when you are in that position, that person going into law enforcement, you get to think about you, yourself, and your family. You don't have to think about the repercussions it has
on someone else's
family, the black and brown people whose families you're ripping apart.
Yeah,
the generational trauma
passed down too.
Exactly that.
That's how you create generational cops.
Generational wealth, Yeah, that's and it's simultaneously how you create generational trauma. You're creating generational trauma.
Ask me how I know.
Creating generational trauma and simultaneously
overseers.
Yep. And that's how it's been in this country for centuries. You have families in this country who have been law enforcement or military like for generations. Generations.
That is my family. They are all law enforcement or military, like just generations and generations of it.
Yeah.
Especially military.
And a lot of people don't like to recognize that the military is part of that class traitor complex. They don't like acknowledging that because it may not be, you're not out on the streets in the United States and hurting people. It can't be the same. You're doing that to people around the world. You are a cog in the machine.
Yeah. The scale of who gets the better treatment, I think the military probably gets a worse treatment once they get out of the military. However, when they are in the military, they're essentially in a socialist society.
Yeah.
They get everything provided for them so that they are incentivized to stay
and
continue working for the machine.
And the wild thing about that is that, for most of the branches, the Air Force they get a little bit better stuff, but for most of the branches, it's like they really do give you crumbs off of the damn table, especially considering how much money the military rakes in budget every single year. They give those soldiers in there little crumbs, and it's just enough to satiate them.
Yeah.
It's just enough to keep them from complaining, so that way they are ready to go kill brown kids.
All these incentives of we'll give you military discounts at all these different stores.
We'll give you BA.
They make them believe that, they're not necessarily bigger than the program. The program is bigger than them. And so you're doing it for the greater good.
Bonuses.
And so therefore you're willing to accept those crumbs because you're doing it for your country.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's where that nationalism comes in.
And we are watching, the billions that they have given to ICE. ICE is currently the most well-funded law enforcement agency in the country now. And the thing that they were using to recruit people a few months ago was that $50K bonus, right? They took it away. they took away that bonus. Like they were offering it, saying, "Come and get it," and then they got a whole bunch of people that signed on, and then they took away that bonus. Was that enough to get people to stop being ICE officers? No, because I fully believe that this ICE thing, sure, it's, you're making some money, but this genuinely is America's worst of the worst, being given free reign to do whatever the fuck they want to do.
Mhm.
So the money is just secondary. I get to go out there and terrorize black and brown people, the people I've always hated, the people I've always been taught were the reason that I'm not getting a leg up, even though I'm a poor white person.
Because they're recruiting people like, former military, former law enforcement.
And now I just saw that you just showed me that ad, no age cap.
Yeah, they took that off.
So those edgy, stupid fucking kids and those old ass racist fucking bastards, all mushed up into this organization that allows them to do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah,
That are
and
being
both
told the
the
reason
most
that
uneducated too. Both
and they are
groups.
being told that the reason that they are not as well off as other rich white people that they see above them is because of black and brown people.
It's
That's why they have to go out there.
got to
and
go
do
out
that.
there and target the Somalis because they're doing fraud, and come to find out the ringleader of this massive fraud scheme was a white woman. Nobody said shit. Nobody did
Haven't
nothing.
heard anything since.
Not a thing. Going out there and harassing Somali Americans out on the street, trying to break into daycares,
Yeah.
terrifying kids. But no, the ringleader was a white woman.
Yeah.
And another one, you know how they always talk about SNAP and whatnot?
Oh yeah.
You know who never got arrested? Never once had any legal
Repercussions?
Brett Favre.
Yeah.
Brett Favre, one of the largest welfare schemes ever.
Yeah.
Brett Favre, Mr. Football Star, did
Only
not
in
receive
America.
a singular repercussion for that. But they're always talking about how that there was a woman who was arrested for getting ingredients with SNAP and then using it to make food so she could sell it. Brett Favre is out and about.
Yeah.
Doing whatever the fuck he wants. It's a double standard in this country that literally shows that if you are wealthy, you are above the law. But even those poor white people, they are still within that system where law enforcement comes down on them hard.
Yeah.
They may still have the benefit of the whiteness of their skin, just a tiny step above as far as sentencing and things like that.
Yeah.
But they still reap the consequences of their actions as far as law enforcement and whatnot goes. But they're still championing these systems that are
because
kicking
they still
their
have
ass.
the privilege of being white. And as far as as long as you can keep relying on the stereotype of it's the black and brown people who are doing this and they're the ones who are holding you down, they'll keep championing these systems.
And
we see videos of people who go out and try to give free food to people in need.
Yep.
And the police will come and say, you can't do that.
And they'll throw the food away, or they'll I've seen them like pour chemicals on the food so that way it couldn't be served. And like,
if you need a glaring example of how the police prioritize, how they need to do out justice, that's the most obvious one I can think of. That is the picturesque example of what it is to be a class traitor.
Yeah, literally seeing people in need. Like, we're not making money off of this. We're literally giving food to people who need food.
We spent our money to buy food and make food and give it away to people in need.
And cops will go out there gleefully to arrest people or give out fines or throw that food away.
I can tell you from experience, having grown up with parents who were law enforcement, the way they brainwash you into saying they're just going to take that and they're not going to be grateful, and then they're going to go out and do drugs. Like if you were to see somebody panhandling for money,
Yep.
You know, they're like, don't ever give them money. They're just going to go buy drugs.
As if a person doing drugs makes them any less human.
Yeah. Or who fucking cares?
Right. And I think for me, that's one of the biggest things
I would
that
rather know that I did something to help someone, even if it is that, oh, well, they're eventually just going to go get drugs.
yeah, if this
you know?
person is at the end of their rope, if this person, if this is,
And they are
if
struggling with
this,
something that we know is a disease.
if this is what's keeping that person alive,
Yeah.
like this is, they are at the end of their rope. They don't feel as if they can go on any longer. If those drugs are what is keeping them here,
To
I
maybe
would rather
live
that,
another day.
yeah, I would
that-
rather that be the case than me withholding any of my, charity or funds or
Yeah.
whatever from them, and being the cause or being part of that reason that they no longer want to be here, because everyone deserves, they deserve
a sliver of
a
kindness.
sliver of kindness. They deserve to if they want
Have a
to, yeah,
chance.
if they want to live, they deserve to live.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the main things about capitalism that a lot of people, especially class traders, don't understand. This system literally says that if you are not able to make ends meet, if you are not part of, that that group that's able to make the
goods or
you make the goods,
to
or
labor for the
if,
machine.
if you can't provide some sort of value for this system, you don't deserve to live.
Yeah. And that's what fucking sucks, because everyone will have moments where they are down. They lose a job for no reason other than maybe they just, it just went out of style or something,
Went out of style, or it may have been they had I know a lot of people who
Technological
were,
advances,
yeah,
or
I know a lot of people who were, who were in companies, for example, it's happened to me. You're trained by someone a certain way,
yeah,
and you trust this person because this is the first person that you're really meeting. They will teach you a way that's not the handbook way.
yeah,
And then you get
It
in
gets
trouble.
bit on the ass.
You get in trouble for doing it the way that you were taught. And then when you say that, well, why wouldn't you look it up? Why would I look it up? If I'm being taught by the person you put me with, I would assume that I'm being taught the way
Yeah.
that the handbook says to do it.
But it's also like there are things where it's like you get into car accidents,
And
you
you're
get cancer, you get sick.
We're
like,
gonna need you to
shit
bring in a note.
happens.
We're going to need you to bring in a note. I can't afford healthcare. I can't afford to go to the doctor's office to get a note.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
it's your fault because
yeah. We're gonna
you
have
don't
to.
have healthcare.
We're gonna have to let you go because you couldn't bring in a doctor's note.
Yeah. And it's like these are the same people who will suffer at the hands of capitalism, and still, because they're being conditioned by capitalism to blame black and brown people who are at the bottom, that
Like, it literally does not matter. And in this system, it doesn't matter what horrific thing is happening to you. You've been conditioned to still go, okay, but this person over here, they shouldn't have that because I think they look poorer than me.
Well, it's not just that. I think it goes a little bit another step further of, well, that person is just going to abuse the whole, like, this good thing that I would get, and then therefore they'll take it away, so what's the point? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this person's just going to abuse the thing that I need.
Yeah.
And yet the very thing is that it's all about the principle. And I think people forget that. That's what you're taught as a kid, right? It's the principle of doing something that you know is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Versus, look, it
Integrity.
doesn't, for me, yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter to me what someone chooses to do with something that I give them. It's the fact that I gave them something. I no longer have to even question my morality and my character. I just know that somebody was in need, and once I give them money or what, it's up to them to do what they want to do. My intentions were pure at the end of the day as a human being, and I think we miss that. It's not about somebody deserving something. Unfortunately, white people have been the ones to kind of determine who deserves what,
Yeah.
even till this day. And a lot of us have of different cultures and backgrounds have taken that on,
Mhm.
unfortunately. You know, who are we to decide what someone deserves?
Yep.
Either you're good or you're not. Therefore, is it about the principle? You know, it's the same thing with, I learned a long time ago that when you give someone something, say someone who's, you know, out on the streets, you give them something, there's no need to run back and tell anyone. You just did it because you're a good person. That's
Yeah.
it. And that's all that
And
matters.
yeah, social media has created this culture
Mm-hmm.
where it doesn't matter what you're doing, you need to show everybody. Like, are there some good feel good videos that I see of, somebody going and giving people money and whatnot? Yeah, those are great. Those make you feel wonderful. But you have to take a step back and think, why do we need to record this? Like,
Yeah,
because
you know,
you're
the thing
making,
is I don't even care about feeling good or wonderful in that. It's not about me. It was about making that person feel good, making them feel worthy, you know, like they're worth a damn. I don't care
yeah.
how I feel.
And I think, again, that comes back to the biggest problem that we have. People don't want to do the right thing unless there is incentive for them. And part of that incentive for content creators is I get to make content and I get views and I get paid for that. I make feel good videos and I get paid for those feel good videos. I like there's a dude whose entire content, as great as it is to see the joy on these people's faces, all he does is go around to um, day laborers. He will go to day laborers at like Home Depot and ask them if they, want to do X amount of work. Like he will pay them, $200 for the day, $100 for the day, way more than they're used to getting, right? And then he will take them to an amusement park for the day. Are these good feel good videos? Yeah. He's quite literally making money off of this content, films the entire thing.
Yeah, it'd be better if you'd cut the camera off. Then let us, yeah, that's how you know a person is genuine.
Yeah.
Because they can see the camera too.
Yeah. And it goes back to that conversation we had a couple weeks ago about family vloggers.
Yeah.
You are exploiting people for your gain. Everything about these conversations comes back to exploitation. People in ICE, even though this system is absolutely ripping them apart too, they are exploiting others for their gain. They're getting, like I said before, it really is just the money secondary.
Yeah.
They're exploiting these people so that this is pure unadulterated white
Mm-hmm.
supremacy and racism and enjoyment for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a good power trip. They do this for
Yeah.
free.
Yeah.
If it meant that they could have power over someone else, you wouldn't even have to get paid.
Mhm.
It's
They're
just the pure
they're able
hatred
to.
and putting your boot on someone's neck.
Most of these people could not cut it in as a police officer. Many of them were
That's why
either
they're in ICE,
either
because
yeah
they probably were told to leave the
either
police.
fired or they did not make the requirements. These are the worst of the worst.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, look
And
at the reason why these people wear masks. It's funny. That's what gets me about ICE is the mask thing. It's like you're
Yeah.
wearing a mask because you're doing your job wrong.
there
That's
was
that's the
one
whole reason why. You
there was
know you're
one
not
that was
supposed to be.
caught a couple I think it was last week. There was one caught. Somebody saw them switch out of their uniform. Dude has an SS tattoo on his neck.
Yeah.
They are hiring literal Nazis.
Mm-hmm.
Literal Nazis.
That would have been too on the nose to be a police officer. So all he had was to go to be an ICE officer.
Yeah. SS tattoos. And then the most mind-blowing thing about all of this is they expect civility, or they expect to have a whole separate life. They want to go out and terrorize.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll go to these, secluded parking lots, switch out real quick into civilian clothing and go right back to regular everyday life, expecting to have normality.
Yeah. You don't deserve it.
No.
You don't deserve it. You've broken the social contract.
The social contract.
You broke it.
The
You don't get to
super
have
simple social
a
contract.
normal life when you go back. Don't act all victim, like play victim whenever somebody comes and calls you on your shit.
If you're new to the podcast and you've not heard of the social contract before, it's kind of like it really is kind of like the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's super simple, and people like law enforcement, people like ICE, people who don't return their cart at the grocery store, they break the social contract. It's very simple. It's like I take responsibility for something, and it's my responsibility to return that thing. Like society works as well and as it as its citizens allow it to work.
Yeah,
If
we're all
you
in this together. It's
Mhm,
community, it's kindness.
if you choose to be outside of the society and throw a wrench in the gears, you're going to see that, you know, you're going to see things go awry, or you're going to see the system stall or crumble or crack. And there's many people who will do that on purpose because they just want chaos, or they ice people in ice. They are evil. They want to terrorize. They want to break that social contract because that power is intoxicating. It's an addiction.
And kind of going on, what you're saying and what Des, you just said a second ago, these people get, they want that power trip. Again, growing up in law enforcement with this family, I've seen this time and time again where they will abuse like wait staff, for example, people of my family, just for shits and giggles because they did something slightly wrong or their attitude wasn't good enough for them. And it's like, I remember being a child being so embarrassed watching my parent just like verbally abuse somebody just for the sake of a fucking power trip.
Hmm.
And it's like, that's not okay. Like, what are you doing?
That's it comes back to that Spider-Man quote: with great power comes great responsibility. And part of that social contract
Mm-hmm.
is you have to have the ability to die to yourself sometimes. You have to have the ability to say, okay, I'm going to give up this freedom to do XYZ so that for the betterment of everyone else.
It's the
Like,
whole principle of taxes. I will give up my money that I make for the betterment of my living conditions, for things like education,
hmm
infrastructure,
hmm
healthcare, things of that nature. The government is breaking the social contract by not
yeah,
providing.
by not using those taxes and those funds for what they are supposed to be allotted for.
Yes.
Or I mean, the one of the things that Republicans have been doing so well is scaring people into
Mm-hmm.
thinking that your taxes are being used for illegal immigrants' health care and whatnot.
And to which the response should be, okay, and?
Yeah, okay, and
Oh, okay, and?
If it means
Like,
someone gets to live,
if
you know,
somebody
if they
is in need of that and they just don't happen to be a citizen of this country, fine.
you remember Caitlin Bennett,
Oh God.
Caitlin Poopy Pants Bennett.
Shit her britches.
Her she went to Kent State. She shit herself at a party. That's literally the only reason people should remember her. Um, yeah, but she's been going out and doing street interviews, and she's been doing exactly that, trying to do gotchas on people. Well, what if your money's going to illegal immigrants? And there was this black girl who she interviewed who wasn't budging. Literally was just like, and I mean, I want people taken care of. Well, what if the those people are illegal? I want,
Okay.
and she just kept repeating the same thing, and it was pissing Caitlin off because that's what we number one, we shouldn't be debating these stochastic terrorists. This is how you get into a cult. This it really is how you get into a cult. The people within that cult know the debate topics that work, and they will debate people to break their walls down and get them to accept,
and also just exhaust them.
exhaust them, and
Yeah, overwhelm them with a bunch of fucking nonsense, honestly. Stupidity that you can't keep up with, proving them wrong to the point where you actually start thinking, was I wrong?
Yep.
It's gaslighting.
So there's no arguing, especially in today's day and age. There is you no longer argue or debate these people or even have conversations with them. Once they show you who they are, there's no need for conversation with people like this, because
And I don't debate human life. That's a red flag to me.
yeah,
Right
we
then and there.
don't
I don't debate
debate
human
human
life.
rights.
Yeah, no, everybody does. I wouldn't even waste my time. You're just not a person. I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna talk to you. Absolutely insane. Why is that a topic for debate?
And this is why I've been thinking that for a long time that neurodivergent people have been gaslit into thinking that we're the odd ones out.
We're not.
Even though, and I want to be clear, there are a lot of evil neurodivergent people.
Being neurodivergent doesn't exclude you from being an
Yes,
asshole.
it does not exclude you from being an asshole. It does not exclude you from being part of the system of evil that is oppressing people around the world. Elon Musk is an excellent example of that. But for a lot of neurodivergent people, we really do see this dichotomy of right and wrong, and knowing that difference, and being very unwilling to change our ways, even to the chagrin of others.
Yeah.
Like we piss people off because we're like, no, that's not the right thing to do. It really is it's making me sick to my stomach. You do whatever you want. I don't want to be a part of this.
Yeah.
Well, it's
It's
because
that whole-
neurodivergence asks the question why. Nobody
Yeah.
else asks why.
And
Even
when we
as
were
children,
taught-
you didn't just take what you were given. You were just like, why?
Yeah.
Forcing
And that-
people to, give you a real reason. And so that's what makes neurodivergence stand out.
It forces conversation.
It's another thing where it's like when we were taught the golden rule as neurodivergents, we held on to that because treat people how you want to be treated. I want to be treated this way.
Yeah.
Therefore, I must treat other people this way.
Exactly. And that's why, we see people who do things just to be evil, just to be mean, and it doesn't compute.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. It's very confusing when I see people, Renee Good being shot in the face, dude running alongside her car and shooting her in the face. That I sat there for hours just trying to figure out, how do you support that, especially after being these people who love talking about the tyrannical government, and I need my guns to protect myself from the tyrannical government,
and then they get on their knees and slob.
Yeah, that's the part that's most confusing to me. Like, you were the loudest about the government doing bad things
against tyranny, and it's right there in front of your face. It happened to someone of your own skin color. It didn't happen to the black and brown people that you keep getting demonized, that you keep being told that they're the ones who are holding you down. It happened to someone of your exact skin color.
And all of a sudden, you are cheering on or championing the very system that you've been so against. And I think that's another thing about neurodivergent people. We don't flip-flop.
Yeah.
We don't flip-flop. And when people flip-flop, it's very angering. It's infuriating because it's like, did you even were those your real morals to begin with? Was that your real stance? Is that who you were as a person to begin with, that something so little could make you flip like that?
And that's not why I don't trust people's words. You trust their actions. You have to get that in our heads.
Their actions, not their words. I'm not gonna.
Anything.
I don't. There are so many times that I've had that opportunity to flip, and I've gotten in trouble for not doing so. The Charlie Kirk thing, for example, losing my job because I refused to apologize. Like, I think that gets a lot of neurodivergent people in trouble. A lot of us get in trouble because we refuse to just bend over and take it without, without question.
You're not going to issue some, you know, apology video that you don't believe in the first place.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, well, I'm sorry I did this. No, I don't. It's different when you're confronted with, oh, I got facts that are different.
Yes.
And that changed my mind. And for that, I am sorry versus.
Or I made a mistake. Like I actually genuinely made a mistake. I
got this
had
wrong.
the incorrect information and I made a snap judgment or whatever. That's different.
Yeah. Versus, no, I'm standing on my business because I know what I'm saying. I know what I hear and see.
And I know the right from the wrong. I know who Charlie Kirk was as a person. I know what he did to black and brown people. I know what his goal was, what his mission was. Do I feel sorry about being elated that someone like that is no longer on this plane of existence? No. I'm not sorry.
This individual didn't give anybody else grace when they
when they were
unfortunately met their
George Floyd,
yeah.
for example.
I mean, George Floyd. Yeah. Where was his grace? All you ever hear people say is, "Oh, well, he was, what was it, selling something or whatever." I
Yeah.
forgot.
Yeah.
But
It
that's
wasn't.
their
He wasn't killed by the cops. It was. He died of a fentanyl overdose.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what
But
Charlie
they
Kirk
also
said.
use that as justification for what happened to him, the whole cigarette thing or whatever what was going on. I'm so sick of that. But when you said what you said about Charlie Kirk, that was wrong. What about what
It
he
wasn't
said about so many
justification.
people like George Floyd? Where was their grace?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
It's
no
also-
justification for Charlie Kirk receiving what he received, but whenever it's black and brown people, every
The
excuse
people
in the
he
world,
talked about, right?
every
Huh.
justification.
It's another thing where it's like cops and ICE shouldn't even be killing people who are actually doing bad things. Shouldn't actually be killing
Because
criminals.
that's the whole system is supposed to be
deliver them to justice.
delivered them to justice. There's supposed to be, a trial or a judgment. Doomed to innocence until you're supposed to be able to have a trial amongst at the hands of your peers.
It's just the thing, like, I don't want people killing other people. That includes law enforcement killing other criminals.
But that's where we have gone to or come to as a society. We've been so desensitized or taught that violence is sorry, let me rephrase this. In response to oppression and fascism, violence is the answer, period. But we've been taught that those systems of oppression are allowed to do what they want to the people, to anyone.
So those that you can get the bad people.
Yeah, so you can get the bad people. So that system of oppression, we're hunting the illegals, the ones that are doing the bad things. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's necessary to do what
it's
we're
necessary. We got to break a few eggs. We killed a few, of the illegals who were not doing bad things, but we're getting to the ones.
However, we have reports, I'm looking at it right now, that about 1/3 of the people who are being arrested by ICE don't have a criminal record. A whole third of people don't even have a criminal record, and then the other ones have minor infractions, which it's usually just not having the correct paperwork.
Or it's even like traffic tickets or something like that. Yeah,
it's so asinine. It's mundane, where it's like, again, 1/3 of people don't have a criminal record. That's not efficient whatsoever.
Nope.
When you
They
look
know
at
what they're doing.
They know what they're doing, but when you
They
look
know.
at the whole philosophy of capitalism, if something is not efficient, you get rid of it. Right? So why is the capitalist machine not getting rid of an inefficient governing, agency?
Because it is efficient.
Because it is efficient, because it is getting bodies for free labor.
Yep. It is efficient.
That is why it is. It's not about getting criminals.
Yeah. It's never been about doing right by the American people and getting the criminals off the street. No.
Because if it was really about that, due to the statistics when it comes to immigrants, there are a lot of white immigrants overstaying their visas. They're not going after them. And also he's taking white immigrants from South Africa and allowing them here.
Yep.
Giving them,
It was never about getting criminals. It was always when you go back to the Civil War and then the liberation of Black people and how that actually decimated
Mm-hmm.
the economy of the South because it was founded on free labor.
Yup.
They needed a way to get that back. So you make a beautiful little loophole.
I love history and how it all just, it's like the drippings all pull down right back to the same fucking thing. It's always been about free labor. It's always been about like the capitalism was literally founded on Black bodies. They said, we're going to use these Black people as collateral with the banks.
Yeah.
That's how it's always been. And we're right back to it. They are using Black and brown people as collateral.
Yeah.
The more bodies you have in the prison industrial complex, the more money you make.
Yeah.
Capitalism be capitalizing.
Yes. And here's the thing, and even though it's much smaller numbers, they're pulling poor white people too who just don't fit into society properly.
Or the mentally disabled,
Yes.
or
And because they're not fitting into society properly, these people, these other white people are able to be like, well, they deserve that.
Yep.
No, they don't. No one deserves this.
It goes right back to what we were just saying a second ago. It's this system has taught people that, okay, the people who are being killed by ICE and law enforcement, that's deserved. It's a means to an end.
Yeah.
The people who are being incarcerated because they don't fit in the system, that's deserved. We gotta, some people just aren't. What do you mean?
Where did your humanity go?
That's where the humanity has gone out the window, because you see this person as unable to bring value to a capitalist system, therefore they don't deserve rights as a human being.
Yeah.
And I want people to understand that I am a communist, and I fully believe that anyone and everyone deserves a healthy standard of living, point blank, period. No matter who they are, no matter what they do, no matter what they don't do, period.
Because how are you going to fix the psychology of this broken nation? You actually start providing for them.
And you teach human beings that other human beings have intrinsic value, period. It's not based on how much they can provide. It's not based on what they can do. It's just based on their existence. They have value based on their fucking existence. We can't go anywhere. And I keep saying it, this country's not ready for revolution, because even liberals have this idea, like even when we're having those discussions about, like revolution and liberation, some people are not meant to be out on the front lines.
It's not about being liberal. It's about, are you a capitalist or not?
Yeah.
Liberals are just left left-wing capitalists.
And
they just want the pride sticker slapped on to the bombs or at the prison camp.
Yeah, and too many people have this idea that, if you are not physically out on the front lines, you don't have value. If you're like, the Black people are not out there on the front lines, then what are they doing for us? Even though Black folks, Black folks have been doing
in the chairs,
almost everything, like almost every revolution or liberation movement in this country has been at the hands of Black people and Black women. It's always this regression of, well, Black people aren't out here, I don't see them. What are they doing? They don't have it. We like wrote the book. Black people wrote the book.
But how do you think we even got here in the first place?
Wrote the book, and then they have it's an open note test, and they're still failing.
Yeah. But I mean, kind of going back to the topic of why, these law enforcement officers and ICE agents are all class traitors, it's because these are people who would have fallen through the cracks of a capitalist system that is supposed to work to their benefit, but because they don't have, enough capital to actually get anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
that they're going to end up poor. But they have been taught that poor people are deserving of less.
Yeah.
So their entitlement says they have to oppress the poor people. How do you do that? You go and join, the oppressors.
Mm-hmm.
You
Join your local PD. Join ICE, and I want people to understand that we're not. There's no distinction, especially for Black folks. There's no distinction between ICE and your local police department.
No.
But my mama, my pawpaw, and my uncle, and I don't give a fuck.
No.
All cops.
Here's the thing: the Fraternal Order of Police, the governing unionizing body for all police departments, supports ICE.
Yep.
They support ICE. They will not go out and arrest the ICE agent who murdered Renee Good or any of the ICE agents who've murdered other ICE agents, because they support them, because they are working for the oppressors.
That is class traitorism.
Mm-hmm.
You said that we understand that we are part of this civilian population. We understand we're part of this society. But because we are a brotherhood, we are comrades. I'm not even sorry. That's offensive to me. I'm not going to call cops comrades.
They're not comrades.
Ew, that makes me sick. But they have created a system that benefits a little clique that benefits them. So they would rather betray their fellow Americans, and it's all about America first.
Mm-hmm.
They'll betray their fellow Americans to make sure that their little clique
doesn't get
consequences, doesn't get broken up, doesn't
no matter who
reach their little benefits. It all comes back to that selfishness.
Mm-hmm.
It really does not matter what happens to other people as long as me and mine are set.
Mm-hmm. And I've seen that play out literally in front of my face my entire life, growing up with these people. That's all they care about. They don't care about doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do have a cop who does the right thing, they're considered traitors among them.
Yep. They either end up fired or dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Also, I want to say rest in peace to Keith Porter Jr.
Yes.
I want to push his story out there. Him and Renee died 7 days apart. He died a week before her. His death was only local news. It wasn't national. Which I do believe if it was national, we should have definitely been out there. Well, not. I would say the white people should have been out there protesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because y'all got to show us a little something. It's your turn. Like what, But I'm just saying that, it's happening to people who look like you and I as well.
Mm-hmm.
I hope, with us pushing this along with other content creators that or not even content creators, just people in general, that his story will get out and that we can, say his name, that's what we need to do. And so I do want to acknowledge, what happened to him.
Yeah. I think another thing is that I want people to understand that I don't want others to have I don't want others to have the Black experience necessarily.
No.
I don't want that to be necessary. You know what I mean? Like, is it something that will probably knock some sense into people's heads? Yeah. But do I want white women in particular to have to turn on the news every day and see another person that looks like them dead?
No,
because I already know what the trauma that it's caused me my entire life. Afraid to step out the front door in the morning because it could be my last day on earth because of one bad interaction with law enforcement. I don't want that for people of other ethnic backgrounds. I don't want that at all. I want people to listen from the jump, but we've watched them ignore Black people time and time and time again. And that's where we're well on the way to people getting the Black experience. And it's annoying because it's like the rake is right there. We're telling you the rake's right there. Stop. Don't step on the rake.
It's not going to hurt me if I step on it.
Arguing with me saying that the rake's not going to be that bad.
It's better than not. It's better than the alternative. What's the alternative?
Either arguing with me, telling me the rake's not that bad, or saying that the rake doesn't exist.
Yeah. It's one thing I want to say is to kind of bring this into like a, pop culture reference is what you were saying about we don't want this to happen to other people. Going to the Hunger Games and Mockingjay, when Katniss killed Coin, because Coin was saying, "We'll have a Hunger Games and we're going to use the Capitol's children this time," saying, "No, that's not right."
Yeah,
and killed her on the spot.
Yeah,
because it's not about flipping the script.
No,
it's about evening the playing field.
As angry as I am every day as a Black person in this country, do I want white people to do I want white people to be slaves? Do I want white people to experience hundreds of years of oppression and disenfranchisement? No, I just want to be left the fuck alone.
Yeah.
I want my 40 acres and a mule, and I want to be left the fuck alone. And I want native peoples to be given their land back. I want white people to learn from their mistakes. I want them to actually atone for their sins and evils. Because again, everything that has happened to this country, white people and the world, white people have never truly been held accountable for their complicity within the system of white supremacy and racism.
Holding you accountable, they always think, oh, so we're going to go to the gulag. No. Are there people who absolutely have committed so many atrocities that they deserve justice done unto them? Yes, absolutely. But we're not talking about all white people.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing of like, this is how capitalism propaganda works, is it's like, oh, well, the reason why they want this revolution is to do to you what we did to them. Mm-hmm. That's what they think is going to happen, and it's not true.
But in reality, all it is equal opportunity for employment and housing. And they said that was racism. DEI, they said that was racism too. Those were those
fundamentally benefiting white women.
Those were those little tiny incremental steps in the correct direction, and they said that was racism. They said that's not fair. No, that's bad. That you're discriminating against me. That when we're not saying that when we say atonement or accountability for racism and oppression, we're not saying we want you to be enslaved. We're saying we want everyone to be given an equal opportunity, and white people flipped shit.
Yeah. The thing is that they genuinely know it's not racist against them. That's
they know.
The
they know, but the whole thing is,
they act stupid.
It's equal
progress, and they're afraid of progress. Is what it is. It's progress amongst other communities.
It's progress, and it's also the fact that they've always coasted on mediocrity.
Always. And to the point where they believe that other people getting their rights means they're losing their rights.
When in reality, all it means is that they're actually having to work just as hard when they've just been coasting on the color of their skin the whole time. Black and brown people have been on game, on 100 the entire time.
I mean, look at
and that's why
being snubbed.
And that's why, for example, anything that we try our hand at, we get good and better at it. Anything that we try our hand at, as far as, it really doesn't matter. Sports, activities, we try our hand at it and we get interested in it.
Yeah.
That
you'll dominate.
We dominate because we get our focus on something. We will do the work that
Mhm.
that it takes to be the best at it.
Yeah.
And palm colored people have, for centuries, they've never needed to do that. They've never needed to do their best to be the best. It was just automatic. It was just like they were given that title from the jump.
And I have to say something real quick, going on something you just said earlier, that mediocrity. And because if you start allowing people who are actually better at this thing that you do than them, that will start excluding them from capitalist movement upward.
Mm-hmm.
That's why capitalism works so well, because it's like, we will reward your mediocrity, because otherwise then you'll just be poor like everyone else.
Yep.
They won't have upward momentum anymore.
Mm-hmm. I want to burn it. I want to burn it all down. Because honestly, we have these conversations all the time, and it's like, we really can't. Like, there's no like reforming this. There's no like taking this and we're gonna get a Democrat in office. We're gonna mold this system. We're gonna fix it. And no, that's still capitalism. Capitalism requires exploitation for it to survive. We need a fresh start, and that terrifies people because, oh my goodness, all of my gains, my capital gains will be gone. All of my generational wealth will be gone. Hey, I'm sorry to tell you this, but that's also part of that atonement.
Yeah.
Everyone deserves to be on an equal playing field.
It's why when you have a lot of these people who say, well, look at all these Venezuelans who escaped Maduro. Yeah, because they were oligarchs.
Mm-hmm.
And they were losing their capital.
Yep.
That's what happens.
Yep.
That's why the propaganda works so well.
Mm-hmm. Same with the Cubans. Same with the Cubans. The ones that were the most vocal, the loudest ones were those slave owners,
Mm-hmm.
the ones who had plantations. But they never talk about that. They never say nothing about that. Why were you kicked, or why did they take away your wealth, your land? What did you do? What was your occupation? No, seriously, tell me, what was your occupation in Cuba? Yeah. And nobody ever asked those questions, because holy shit. No,
oh, wait.
It's always big bad communism.
Yeah. Because it goes along with what we've talked about with immigration. It's like, you have to have money in order to actually immigrate here legally.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you think these people got here? They had money.
Mm-hmm.
They had money in order to get here, and they wanted to keep their money. That's why they left a socialist country.
Yep. Because it all comes back to if you live in a society, you should be living by a social contract which states sometimes you got to die to yourself. Sometimes you got to, do the hard things so that other people can live a decent life as well.
Yeah. If you have excess, you should give that excess to somebody who has nothing.
Man, that would be hard to do though. Because what if I want the excess so I could have it sit on my shelf and spoil? Like I'm not gonna eat it. I'm not gonna eat the excess, but it could sit on my shelf and I could stare at it.
What if I need the excess?
What if I need it, even though I know for a fact that I won't need it?
Yeah.
Or I could literally just stare at it and acknowledge every time I walk past it that I have the excess.
It makes me feel good to have all this excess.
Yeah.
Because I did that.
Yes. It is my achievement. I did it on my own, therefore it's my excess. Those poor people shouldn't have access to my excess.
That was my granddaddy's excess, and therefore it is now my excess.
It's my granddaddy's excess. That was passed down generation to generation.
My granddaddy worked hard beating slaves to earn that excess.
Listen, interest rates were lower. He was able to work. My granddaddy was able to work at McDonald's and pay for his 17 children
and go to college. He had 2 different families, and he provided for both of them.
He had 2 different families.
That's usually the case.
They never met each other.
Yeah,
You're not far off with that
they
one.
never met each other.
Listen, back in the day, you could have a secret family and no one ever found out.
Yeah, that didn't happen in today. Holy shit, that is not happening today. That's crazy. But I think that
White people could really have a whole other secret family.
isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's so crazy to me to think about. That is so wild.
Yeah.
I would feel so bad, like having a whole secret family. Like I'm going off.
I'm going on a business trip.
I'm going on a business trip.
A business trip.
Daddy's been on a business trip for an awful mighty long time.
Daddy's working really hard.
Shut up, boy.
It's literally
Mistress had a baby.
literally the plot of Mad Men.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why do you
Oh,
think
we need to get Mad Men.
Oh, there you go.
We need to get Mad Men.
Hey, it's been like over an hour.
Okay.
I think we did good.
I think we did good. Okay, that was
Ice and cops
awesome.
are class traitors.
They're class traitors, and I don't feel sorry for them when the blood starts pouring in the streets. I don't really care. What are they going to do? Take down my podcast?
I know, right?
All right.
God forbid a white guy have a podcast.
Oh, Jesus. I was watching one where they were debating if a fish is actually an animal.
No.
Why do people have access to podcasting equipment? Don't
Listen.
No.
Listen.
Get out of my face.
If this one gets part down, we could always just create our own op where we essentially get a bunch of people with different opinions and sit them in a room, and then the one person who has like the right opinion sit them in a room. You see what I'm saying? You hear what I'm pitching?
You funny as shit. Okay. I was like, wait a minute, that sounds like Jubilee.
Maybe because
That's great. That's
Yeah.
great. All right, friends. Thank you for joining us for our episode today. If you honestly, genuinely, I want you to understand, I know these conversations can be difficult. I know they can be very, a lot of the information could be very hard to swallow at times. But if you are feeling as if, things are not looking up, like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, just know that it may not, doing the right thing, fighting for what we're fighting for, it may not be for your future. It may not be for your tomorrow. It may be for your kids or your kids' kids. If you don't have kids, it may be for your neighbor's kids. You just know that we are doing the work that needs to be done, as difficult as it is, for future generations. I have 2 little boys that I have to think about. And it freaks me out every day because I don't want a world where they're going to have to deal with the issues that I dealt with, but also the issues that are being created by our current government and administration. I want a better future for myself, but I know that that may not be possible. And it's difficult to come to terms with that sometimes. But we still have to do the work. We still have to do the right thing. And that's one of the big reasons we have a problem today anyway, because a lot of people don't want to do the right thing unless there is intrinsic benefit for themselves, But y'all want to say anything before we head out?
No, I think you said everything that needed to be said.
I hit the nail on the head.
You sure did.
I murdered it. The nail is now dead.
Okay. Now.
Well, I do want to say though, because we did have some ICE agents here yesterday.
What?
Yeah, we did. I forgot. Yeah, they be, whatever. I'm not. My thing is though, I just want to let ICE know that if you come up to me and you think you're going to put your hands on me, I've already made peace with the fact that I'd rather die. I'm not going nowhere with nobody.
Shit.
I would also just like to say that, I've heard that if you want to assist them, sugar in a gas tank is very helpful for their vehicles. It does a lot.
It makes
of
it
good.
go faster.
It does. It gets them to their destination very quickly.
Super fast. But
very helpful.
Listen, Desiree, you and me are on the same wavelength.
Yeah.
Because I've like for years, I after that incident that happens, nearly a decade ago, where the cops showed up and surrounded me while I was working on like props. Like I am very much of the mindset that if I'm a die, I'm a die on my feet. Like I'm not, I'm gonna run. I'm gonna give you something to chase. I'm gonna give you a show because there's, I'm not
Make you
gonna
do your
be,
job.
yeah, I'm
That's
gonna
what
make you
I'm.
do your
Yeah.
job. Listen, I got two ruptured Achilles that are healed now. I'm still fast as fuck.
I
I
saw.
I can still
Look,
fucking jump like nobody business.
I saw a
Watch me.
cop today that was so big he could barely walk. I was like, yeah, I would make
They
him
just
work.
be letting
I would.
anybody do the shit.
You want
Okay.
me? Come get me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I already made peace. ICE, and they don't even identify themselves. That's the thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
You don't identify.
that's the
Yeah, no, I'm not going
problem.
with you.
Don't even identify themselves, and yet
Yeah,
That is
they
why you have no reason to comply with them.
yep, no reason to comply.
exactly.
But yeah,
Today's gonna be the day.
I want y'all to have a good night, day, whenever you're listening to this. I don't really care. Live long and prosper, and may the force be with you. Go drink some water, and
Fight for someone else's tomorrow.
fight for someone else's tomorrow. Yeah.